Hi, I'm a photographer. My father used to be army personnel. He was a soldier and has served 2 wars during his lifetime, protecting our own land. As such, I do not have any land of my own, and I've often wondered what is this possessiveness about land in order to try and find meaning to belonging. My father did teach me maps being a soldier. So this search took me to a geography in the northeast, which lies beyond the chicken egg, which actually resembles like a chicken egg. You cut it off, and the geography will go away from this country. And specifically in terms of northeast, I was working in Assam and Arunachal, and my work since 2012 has been around ethnic conflict and displacement in these geographies. So being interested in conflict and social issues, it was in the geographies of Assam and Arunachal that I started working in since 2012. And the opportunity arose when there was ethnic violence which took away the lives of some 90 people and displaced around 3.5 lakh people. They lost their homes. And this geography was a tribal land inhabited by a Kachari tribe of the lower hills who called themselves Bodos, and they deemed themselves to be the original inhabitants of the land. Now, these were phrases that were coming across to me when I visited that land, and I was trying to understand, like I said, what was this belongingness to land and what was this possessiveness and who are in original inhabitants. I had no clue of what all that meant. Now, this land that we got called as Bodo land was handed over to us by Radcliffe when he handed over Bengal to us. And it was only during Indira Gandhi's time that the geography got restructured and reorganized into several tribal states. Nagaland and states like that were formed then. However, Bodos were the only one which did not get their own state. These guys realized that they have been left out in the race, and they started carrying out protests, including strife. There were buns. There are still buns in Northeast. During this phase, the struggle led to the signing of the Assam Accord, wherein this geography was formed, as called as BTAD. And subsequently, since the voices were not being heard, this led to armed struggle in the geography, and that led to a peace accord in 2003, wherein administration was given over to the locals or the Bodos. There was a movement of dissent that was carrying on because of all these struggles, various issues. There is no development there. The bridges are made out of bamboo. So there was typically a conflict which was happening for resources which belonged to that land. And this was happening between the Bodos and the Bengali Muslims who had come from Bangladesh around 71, and off late and recently from Jharkhand and Orissa and nearby states. Now, in 2012, the agitation was against the Bengali Muslims and illegal immigrants. And in 2014, there were Bodo militants who had massacred something like 80 odd people, including 25 women and children. We showed solidarity to Lahore when the children had died. But in our own backyard in the northeast, there were children dying and none of us were aware of it. When I went there, I came across a geography which had a lot of land. जहाँ जहाँ तक नज़र जाती थी वहाँ वहाँ तक ज़मीन दिखाई देती थी, खेत दिखाई देते थे. So, and I always used to believe that, जब कुछ नहीं होता है तब झगड़ा होता है. But when you have so much in plenty, why would you want to fight over? I mean, it's not a small piece of land. So why are we fighting over this? When I went there and when I met up people and when I spoke to them, like this one kid in a village, in a district which is, I mean, across the river is Bangladesh. That's where the illegal immigrants come from. It's called as Dhubri. And you go there, it looks like Dhaka. So in one of the relief camps that I went, I realized that I met this kid who was an orphan, and I asked him what happened. And he turns around and says, so this shot a kid and his sister, he was 8 years old, his sister was 5 years old. Children don't lie, it's difficult. So I asked him what happened. So he says, people in black masks and black clothes came to my house, they were burning villages, we were playing inside the house. They knocked our door and my mother opened the door and we were playing hide and seek in the room, and I went and hid under the bed. And he said, then I heard some loud noises. I could not come out. And but I did hear my mother's shrieks. And He says that her body was found in the river, hacked into 6 pieces, and the body was found over 18 days. And he said this in a very matter of fact way. You know, there was no like, "Meri mummy chali gayi," ya, you know, he was not broken. He was cold, absolutely cold. So I had to, in journalism, we say that you never get too close to your subjects. I had to pick this kid up. I knew his life was changed, and I hugged him and I was patting his back and trying to tell him that sab theek ho jayega. I mean, in my heart, I knew his life has changed forever. There was this lady I came across in 2014 in this tea garden in a geography called as Udalgudi. There was a grenade which was thrown in her house. She was warned on 23rd December. A few Bodo militants came in and told these Adivasis that, listen, you got to vacate this land. They felt fear. They left their villages. Next day, their houses were burned. Now, the idea was why they burn these houses is so that these people cannot come back to their villages and live there. So this lady, literally in tears, and she turns around and tells me that they came on 23rd December, and they said that you and your sons need to leave. So she told them, I came here with my husband. I will leave when my time is done. I cannot leave before that. So the next day, they threw a grenade in her house. Her son had gone hunting, and he is still missing. They do not know what happened to her first son. And she says, I am 60 years old. My life is done. Let's see how long they will take to make me vacate this place. So there are such stories that come and happen, in that geography. So we all make pictures day in and day out. We take selfies with people, with our friends, of the food that we are eating. We click Taj Mahal, we click sunrises and sunsets. I have also made those pictures, but I chose to go to the Northeast to report on and be the voice of the people who wanted to be heard. I'm sure all of us can pick up our cameras and try and do meaningful work with that, which does impact the society and be remembered for good.